Hey everybody, Jeff Reinhart here, LMP and Lancaster Online, and welcome in to the Week 4 edition of the Huddle LL League Football Podcast, brought to you by Auto House of Lancaster. Week 3 is over, believe it. The longest week of LL League football of all time will be part of my top 5 takeaways from last week. Are you ready? Number 1, Mother Nature. Oh, last week was a train wreck. Started innocently enough with a Thursday night game. Anvil-Cleona over at Littlestown went to that for a 6 o'clock start, and as soon as I walk in, lightning everywhere. Cleared the field. Kids went back to the locker rooms. Ended up starting an hour and 15 minutes late. Littlestown ended up beating Anvil. So, okay, bit of a sluggish start Thursday night, but we got it done. Friday night, lightning, thunderstorms, craziness, suspended games, postponed games, games on Saturday, games on Monday. I was at Littlestown. I was at Mannheim Township. I was in Hanover on Monday to watch Pequea Valley finish off a good win over the Nighthawks. So just a crazy week 3. Please, Mother Nature, no more thunderstorms, no more lightning delays. Let's have a clean week 4, please. Okay, other things, takeaways from week 3. 3-0 teams, unscathed, heading into this week's section openers. 11 of them. Twin Valley, Elko, Wyomissing, Hamburg, Cedar Crest, Mannheim Township, Garden Spot, Exeter, LS, Lancaster Catholic, and Ephrata, which is 3-0 for the first time since 2000. Good job, Mounts. They'll go for a 4-0 start here. Opposite side of the ledger, 5 teams are 0-3 heading into the section openers in week 4. E-Town, Conrad Weiser, Penn Manor, which has been outscored 84-0, which is probably my biggest head scratcher here through 3 weeks. Muhlenberg and Lebanon, and the good news there is Mules and Cedars will play Friday night in Lebanon. Winner there gets a dub. Loser goes to 0-4. 2 kids to mention. Jake Williams, again, Elko senior running back, has been unbelievable. 1 week after snapping his own program record for rushing yards in a game, he goes for 358 yards with 5 touchdowns against Columbia. So he's at 912 yards. And my favorite Jake Williams stat so far, and there's a lot of them, he's averaging 20 yards a carry. Wow. Lastly, week 3 recap. Tyler Shuey, Hamburg quarterback. Wow. 3 games, 3 300-yard passing nights. He had 347 last week against Fairfield. Hamburg's 3-0. Shuey has passed for 1,006 yards in 3 games. That leads the league. Nobody else has 1,000. Great start for him. Okay. Got the card out. Here we go. Week 4, manageable. Finally, 3 weeks we had 28 games, 27 games, 28 games because of all the non-leagues. Now, there are non-league games moving forward. There'll be a couple a week. But starting this week, it's section play. Head-to-head, league games. Here we go. Okay, quick hitter and a pick. Listen up. There is a Thursday game. Mannheim Central at Susquehannock in Glen Rock. I'm going to make that trek over to York County to watch Warriors Barons. I think Central's going to be spitting a little fire here after losing to Calico last week, 48-28. Eagles did major damage on the ground. So Barons get a bounce back here. I think they beat Susky and get some mo heading into section play. I'll take the Barons. Penn Manor at Cedar Crest. We were at Cedar Crest this week for the video show. Make sure you tune in. Great start for the Falcons, 3-0. They're playing really well. Beat Warwick in triple OT last week. That's a different way to win. They get a Penn Manor team, as mentioned, that has been outscored 84-0. Comets need a touchdown. They need to exhale over there and get some positivity. But I'm going to go Crest here. I think Falcons get to 4-0. Crest over Penn Manor. Hempfield at McCaskey. Both teams struggled last week. Hempfield had to go back and finish on Monday. They lose to Central York 39-0. First time in 2 years that Hempfield's been shut out. McCaskey, 1 week after a 40-point, 500-yard explosion against E-Town, They had to go over to Cedar Cliff, and the Colts are really good, and it rained all night, and Cedar Cliff won that one. I'll go Hempfield here, and I wrote this week. I don't know if this is going to be pretty. Both teams are kind of trying to find their way here, but I'll go Knights. They open defense of their section title in this game. Hempfield over McCaskey. Non-league game, and what a whopper game this is. Springford 3-0 at Manheim Township 3-0. Saw the Streaks on Saturday beat Harrisburg 38-6. Township played great in all phases. Hayden Johnson's off to a quick start through the air. Springford's got a potent offense. They're averaging 50 points a game, almost 500 yards a game. They put 63 up on Cumberland Valley last week. That's a common opponent. Springford scored 63 against Cumberland Valley and won. Township beat Cumberland Valley 35-6, but it was 35-0 mercy rule, and they emptied the bench. I have Township circled, and I think I wrote this. I cannot pick against the Streaks right now. They're scorching. Their offense is really good. They're at home. They just beat Harrisburg, and they have some big goals there. So I'll go Streaks over Rams. Reading at Wilson. Old school Berks County rivalry. Wilson, you didn't think they were going to go 0-3, did you? They had to find a game on the fly. You remember that last week? MLK had to cancel. Picked up Cheltenham, had to come back Monday and won. Tommy Hunsicker passed for 290. Edison Case had a big game catching the ball. Wilson beat Cheltenham. Reading coming off a loss to Red Lion. Still trying to find their way a smidge, and now they got to go to West Lawn and play the Bulldogs, who are feeling a lot better about things. Wilson over Reading. Cool backyard, old school LL game here. Warwick at CV. As mentioned, the Warriors fall in triple OT against Cedar Crest. CV goes to the wire against undefeated Garden Spot. Bucks rolled the dice, went for 2 and the lead with a minute to play. Didn't punch it in. Spotty wins 27-26. But CV played another really good game after their 2-0 start. So I'm going to ride them another week. I'm going to go Buckskins over Warriors. I think that's the one pick this week that could come back and bite me, but I'll ride CV another week. Governor Mifflin at Exeter, fun Berks County game, longtime rivals. Exeter playing well, 3-0. Found another way last week, put up 49 points. And won against West York. Mifflin playing well, 2 wins in a row for the Mustangs. Found their ground game last week. Grady Garner rushed for 185 and 3 touchdowns. So their O-line's playing well. Tough little tricky short bus ride over to Exeter here. I'm going to go Eagles. They're flying. They're going for 16 regular season wins in a row. And I think they'll get it. I'll take Exeter over Mifflin. Muhlenberg at Lebanon. A couple of 0-3 teams here. Lebanon's lost 25 in a row. Muhlenberg's lost 9 in a row. So somebody's going to get healthy and get a dub here. And I have Muhlenberg circled. They've done some things. This Michael Miller kid's got 12 catches. They've been playing 2 quarterbacks. Zapola plays and Lopez plays. I know they got to go on the road, but I'm going to go Mules over Cedars. Daniel Boone at Garden Spot. Boone coming off a win. They beat Muhlenberg, put up 51 points. Dean Rotter had a nice dual threat game behind center. Blazers are feeling good about things, but Garden Spot's, 3-0. Found a way last week. Reed Gruber made a big stick on the 2-point play to keep CV out late. Garden Spot holds on. I also picked Garden Spot to win the section. So they need a hot start here to get to 1-0 and get a leg up early. So I'll go Sparty Nation, Garden Spot over Daniel Boone. E-Town at Red Lion, non-league game. Red Lion, good win against Reading. Keep an eye on Chris Price, their quarterback. Passed for 140, had 3 touchdown passes, kicked a 40-yard field goal, and 5 extra points. He did a little bit of everything against Reading. He's really good. E-Town kind of stuck in second gear here. They've been shut out twice in 3 weeks, trying to find their offense. They were playing 2 quarterbacks. Just 1 QB played last week, but the Bears didn't score. So they're trying to find their way. So I'll go Red Lion here. They have a couple of wins, and this Price kid's good. Red Lion over E-Town. Ephrata at Solanco. Love this game. Big Section 3 opener here. Golden Mules open defense of their section title. Ephrata 3-0 for the first time in 23 years. Playing great. Braden Brown is a kid to know. 400-yard rusher. Back-to-back weeks, he has a pick 6, including the one against Warwick in the George Mail Trophy game, which iced that 14-0. Effort is playing really good here. Tricky Trip, Coreyville. Solanco found its rushing attack. Johnny Garcia had a 200-yard night last week. But I have Ephrata circled. I think they're going to ride the mo. This one might be close. Solanco's going to try to hog the ball as usual and go 80 yards in 10 minutes. But Ephrata has been opportunistic. They're forcing turnovers. And I like the way they're going. Ephrata over Solanco. Fleetwood at Twin Valley. Raiders are just rampaging here. My goodness gracious. Lead the league 511 yards a game, over 1,000 yards rushing. They're averaging 10 yards per carry as a team. So they're moving the sticks pretty much every time they do a handoff or a pitch play. They've been terrific at 3-0. Fleetwood was 2-0, fell to Upper Perk last week for their first loss. This Zion Brickle kid is really running the ball well. So TV has to keep tabs on him. But I like the Raiders here. They're going for their first 4-0 start in program history, and I think they get it. TV over the Tigers. Cocalico at Octorara. Huge week for the Eagles. They got their arch rival at home. They had to come back and finish it 48-28 with 475 rushing yards. So Cocalico has found it since that week 1 loss to Warwick. They've come back and scored 40 plus. They have like 700-800 rushing yards in the last 2 weeks. Look out for Cocalico. Octorara ran into Lancaster Catholic last week. Crusaders beat them. But Octorara has 2 wins. They've been opportunistic. They've turned teams over, but tough task here. This is not the week you want the Eagles. Cocalico over the Braves. Conrad Weiser at Elko. I covered this game last year, and it went right down to the end. Weiser scored and got a 2-point play with like a minute left and won it. Exciting. Scouts are 0-3 and kind of back at the drawing board. Elko 3-0 for the second year in a row. Jake Williams has mentioned 900-plus rushing yards, 20 yards a carry, 15 total touchdowns. He has been a beast. And I'll ride Elko another week. Raiders over Scouts. Donegal at LS in Lampeter, and I will see you there on Friday. I definitely want to get a look here early at the Pioneers. 2 shutouts in 3 weeks. They've outscored their opponents 132-7. LS has given up 7 points in 3 games. That's best in the LL League. Found their offense last week, scored 63 points against Kennerdale. So LS is scorching. Donegal was 2-0, dropped a tough one to Palmyra. I was trying to follow along with that one, and I think Donegal had the lead late, and then 2 minutes later I looked down, and Palmyra came back and won. So that game went down to the wire. Donegal could not slam the door, but still 2-1 and a good start for Donegal, which is tweaking things offensively. But a tough test here against LS. Pioneers D has been great. LS over Donegal. Anvil Cleona at Hamburg. Tyler Shuey, 1,000-yard passer already. Mason Semmel's catching the ball. Ty Worley's catching the ball. Hamburg's offense has been really good. Saw Anvil last Thursday night over in Littlestown. They can run the ball. Bryce Keller's back. Cale Harder had like an 80-yard touchdown run in the second half. But Hamburg's offense has been really good here. AC is probably going to try and hog it and keep the ball as long as possible and play keep away. But I can't pick against Hamburg right now. They've been scorching. I think they get to 4-0. Hawks over Dutchman. Columbia at Lancaster Catholic. That's an old school LL rivalry game. Columbia, weird loss week 1, great win week 2, weird loss week 3. So Columbia's seesawing it here. Now they get a Catholic team that's 3-0. Beat Octorara. Elijah Cunningham, 200-yard rushing night in that game. He's well over 400 yards rushing. The Stefano kid who's come in to play quarterback has been really efficient. He's like the second or third ranked quarterback in the league. Hasn't been picked, completing a good percentage. So I'm going to ride Catholic here. They won 13 regular season games in a row. I think they make it 14. Catholic over the Tide. Schuylkill Valley, at Kutztown. Cougars' rushing attack has been good. Mason Cherry had 3 TD runs last week, but they fall to Pottsville Nativity. But Kutztown has a win and some crooked numbers. Schuylkill Valley, wow, put up 48 last week against Susquehanna. Dominic Jeffrey had his bust-out game, rushed for 255, 3 touchdowns, returned a pick 45 yards for a score. SV has found it, and I think they will be there in Week 10 for that Catholic game. So I think they get a hot start here. FYI, Bruce Harbach, you remember Bruce, former Lancaster Catholic coach. If SV wins this game, that'll be 150 career wins for Mr. Harbach. That's a cool number. I'll go Panthers over Cougars. The last game on Friday night, Northern Lebanon at Pequay Valley. Vikings got a win last week, beat York Tech, threw the ball around. Erdman had a couple of TD throws. Good move for those guys. They needed a dub, and they got it. Pequay Valley, wow. They went over to Hanover Monday, trailing 14-6. And then they got the kickoff to start the second half to restart the game, fumbled on their first drive. And I thought, no, not now. Forced a punt and then scored on their next 3 drives. Got the running game going. Dante Petersheim had a couple touchdown runs and a pick. They recovered a fumble and a great second half comeback win for PV. So they got a ton of mo here. And I think that's a team that's going to cause headaches the rest of the way. So I'm going to go Braves here. They're back home with a ton of mo on a short week. So I'll go Pequay Valley over Northern Lebanon. The Saturday game, it's the backyard brawl. Berks Catholic at Wyomissing, 1:30 Saturday afternoon. YO pulled one out of its hat last week, beat Trinity somehow, down 20 points in the second half. They came all the way back. Logan Hyde to Justice Hardy, 1-yard touchdown flip with time running out. Keegan Maher hits the extra point. YO wins 35-34. Amazing. 38 regular season wins in a row for the Spartans. Now they get their home opener against the Saints. Not fun last week against Pope John Paul. They called the game in the second quarter when the lightning hit. It was already 35-0 PJP. Berks Catholic said, that's it. Game over. We're not going to suspend this. Adios. We're going to go get ready for Wyomissing. So 6-6 in the series here. Berks Catholic led last year at halftime, and then YO had a huge second half. So Spartans are just playing great. I just cannot pick against YO. They're just off to a superb start. So I'll go Wyomissing over Berks Catholic. Week 4 winners, Manheim Central, Cedar Crest, Hemfield, Manheim Township, Wilson, Conestoga Valley, Exeter, Muhlenberg, Sparty Nation, Red Lion, Ephrata, Twin Valley, Cocalico, Elko, LS, Hamburg, Catholic, Schuylkill Valley, Pequay Valley, and YO. And that's week 4. I am so glad week 3 is over. I didn't think that week was ever going to end. And as of this recording on Wednesday, I'm still missing stuff from week 3. What a mess. Okay, week 4's teed up. Thursday night, I will be at Manheim Central at Susquehannock. Friday night, I will be at Donegal at LS. Saturday, Mike Drago Sports will handle Berks Catholic at Wyomissing. Stay tuned to the page for all kinds of LL League football coverage, standings, stats, videos, the podcast, game stories, all of my notes, et cetera, the daily 3 facts. So far, so good. Section openers on Friday night, y'all. Should be fun. Stay tuned for the coverage, and I will catch you back here next week. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks.